I reached Division 1 in eFootball Mobile, and I didn't just get there casually. I hit 1,900 ranking points within a few weeks only. And I want you to understand something immediately. I did this as a complete mobile beginner. Because the last mobile game I ever played seriously wasn't FIFA, wasn't Pro Evolution Soccer, and wasn't anything competitive. It was Snake on an old Nokia 3210. And yet, within one single month, I managed to climb all the way to the top tier of competitive eFootball Mobile. But here's the part that makes this run completely different, because I reached Division 1 without using double touches, Marseille turns, fake shots, 1-2 passes, sliding tackles, smart assist. Not once, not accidentally, not even in panic situations. Simply never. Therefore, this video is not about flashy mechanics or complex skills. It's about structure, decision making, and understanding the game at a deeper level. Today, I'll show you exactly which formation I used and why, how and when I transform the formation in-game to my sub-tactic, how I select and level my players, all of them, my manager, team playstyle, and individual instructions, and finally, how all of this translates into real gameplay that wins matches consistently. Stay until the end, because a crucial part of my success is not the formation I start with, it's also the sub-tactic. Everything in this approach starts with structure. Because when the structure is unstable, every decision you make under pressure becomes slower, harder, and leads to mistakes. Therefore, my main formation is a 4-2-2, but not in the aggressive forward-heavy version most players would expect. As you can see, at the back, I have 2 center backs, 1 right back, 1 left back, forming a compact defensive line. In the midfield, we have 1 defensive midfielder focused on space control and 1 central midfielder connecting build-up to attack. Slightly ahead of them, we have 2 attacking midfielders, slightly wider, supporting both central and wide play. And up front, we have 2 center forwards, providing vertical presence without forcing passes. This structure gives me security without passivity. Means I stay defensively stable, yet always connected offensively, allowing me to read the match calmly. The manager I use is Mikel Arteta here from the Arsenal pack. And when we have a look at him, you can see that he offers 89 possession game and 88 in long ball counter. His boosters are in acceleration +1 and set piece taking +1, which you can see here. And when we head over to his link-up play, you can see that he has got over-the-top pass B, which can support the approach of waiting for mistakes instead of forcing chances. But also here I have to mention, I didn't use his link-up play once. Right now, one team playstyle dominates high-level eFootball Mobile. You see it again and again at the top of Division 1. And instead of fighting the meta, I mastered it. Long ball counter. So, yes, my team playstyle is of course long ball counter. Up until Division 2 and almost 1,600 points, I played with a fully free-to-play team. No excuses, no blaming ratings, only structure and decision making. And only after reaching that level did I open 3 packs. And even then, every player had to fit the system, not the other way around. And with the release of the Ankara Messi pack, I decided to spin for most of them. Special thanks here goes out to BSZ, Bauwerksanierungszentrum, the company who sponsored 32,000 coins for the pack openings. Make sure to follow them on Instagram because we are planning big stuff in the future for you. The link is in the description down below. And now I'm going to show you my player selection for each position, including my customized progression point distributions for each of them. And we are starting with the goalkeeper, who is, by the way, my biggest carry in my road to Division 1. It's the one and only Thibaut Courtois. Absolutely brilliant. As my right back, I am using Franco Baresi, and I've trained him with the position tokens as a right back because he doesn't have a designated position. And then we're coming to the 2 center backs, which is the right one, William Saliba, one of my most favorite ones. The next one could surprise you because he's been known for one of the best DMFs in game, best anchormans in game. But for me, I use him as a left center back, and this is Aurélien Tchouameni, the Showtime version with long reach tackle. My left back is an attacking fullback, but I leveled him completely for the defense, and yeah, Roberto ISS people will know it, Larcos. This is my defense, and now we are heading over to my midfield. Starting with the DMF, with the defensive midfielder, who is the biggest surprise of all for me. I call him the White Vieira, and this is Jonas here. Guys, he's brilliant. Absolutely awesome. I love to use him. Very, very good. Also with this leveling, he suits very well in my system. What about my central midfielder right in front of him? Here I'm using the next surprise, who works pretty good and pretty well for me. It is Declan Rice, the box-to-box version of him. Suits perfect. And now we're coming to the first attacking players in this system, my both AMFs. And here on the right-hand side, I'm using a deep lying forward. Doesn't suit perfectly into my system, but his stats and his play ID is absolutely amazing. Of course, I'm talking about Johan Cruyff, but who's going to be his partner on the left-hand side? Here I opt for a whole player, at least one whole player I need in the system. And this is a very special one. Morgan Rogers with high physical contact and high balance. A unique combination of both attributes. Time for the two center forwards. The one on the left-hand side, again, the next surprise for me, guys. In this formation, in mobile in general, I had some great surprises, and this is the next one. My left center forward, Eric Cantona. Amazing. He makes the passes. He is clinical. He scores the goals. This is what I needed there. And his partner on the right-hand side, yeah, it's a player who, yeah, he didn't surprise me. Impossible. It's Lionel Messi. Big time version. Blitz curler. I don't have to say a lot about him, guys. And I also want to show you my bench. My bench at that point was my weakness. I played with Kylian Mbappe, who is definitely another weakness. He is pretty strong. Nick Woltemade, but didn't suit into my system. Joao Pedro, surprisingly good. El Hadji Diouf, he did also his job. Eden Hazard, he's good. He is good. He is good. Rodrigo, almost never used him. Joao Neves was a pretty nice pull, so I like him. Kevin De Bruyne, not useful on console, not useful on mobile into my meta playstyle with longbow counter. And when we scroll down, you see I have Jurien Timber, good one from the Arsenal pack. Vitinha from the eFootball point shop, also a good one. Davinson Sanchez with A-form, he was doing a good job as a player of the week. And Mickey van der Ven, a great option as a speedster nominating contract. To finalize the theory, to finalize the tactics, I'm going to give you now my individual instructions. The first one, which is really important to me, same as the next one, is going to be defensive, which I'm putting on Roberto Carlos. And the next one is going to be the same, defensive, but this time on our right back, Baresi. And with this, I'm not so vulnerable because of gaps in my defense, because both fullbacks are going to stick to the back. Now let's go for the next ones. Here, my first one is counter target, which I'm putting on Eric Cantona. And the second one, again, counter target, but this time on Lionel Messi. This ensures I always have outlets under pressure without pulling my team out of shape. This is the moment where tactics stop being theory and start winning games, because it doesn't matter how good a formation looks on paper. What matters is how you use it when the opponent presses, when space disappears, and when the match becomes uncomfortable. Let me show you exactly how I played this tactic in-game in the division. Everything starts with control in the midfield. When I attack, I do not pass forward at every opportunity. Instead, I involve my CMF and my DMF constantly in the build-up. By doing that, I don't just keep possession, I outnumber the opponent in the most important area of the pitch, in his half, in front of his box. A crucial part here is finding the right balance between normal passes and through passes. Because I played without any skill moves and without 1-2 passes, creating triangles becomes absolutely essential in this case. And something very specific happens again and again during these triangle sequences. The opponent gets impatient and runs out with his last center back. And trust me guys, this happened over and over and over again. And in that single moment, this is his mistake. That is the exact moment where you punish him with a through pass behind his defense. And at the same time, you must find a balance between fast counterattacks and slowing the game down. For example, especially after the opponent has a corner kick, fast counters are extremely effective because you will often outnumber him in his own half. But when there are no gaps, you slow the pace, recycle possession through the midfield, and you wait, because forcing attacks can be the fastest way to lose the control. Defensively, my approach is very simple, but far from easy. I didn't use a single sliding tackle, and I used almost no dash and pressure. Instead, I relied almost entirely on the matchup function. For this to work, positioning is absolutely crucial, and you must never open gaps in your defense, especially by running out with your last center backs, like I showed how the opponents are previously doing it. You need to anticipate your opponent's next move, not react to it. Especially not too late reacting to it. This is very, very important. This takes obviously time, it takes practice, and it takes discipline. So don't rush to win the ball back, stay calm and stay patient. With this approach, your opponent will get nervous, and you know what is going to happen. Nervous players force passes, overcommit, and mistakes for you. This formation doesn't overwhelm opponents in the first 5 minutes. It slowly takes options away from them. But on the other hand, you will always have enough defensive stability and at the same time, enough attacking players to stay dangerous. You can attack very centrally, but you can also shift play to the flanks with wider AMFs. And that versatility is what makes this formation so difficult to read and defend against. But no tactic is perfect. Depending on your opponent's formation and playstyle, building from the back can become very difficult. Especially against smart assist users, you will feel constant pressure on yourself. In those moments, calmness is everything. Play side passes and use lofted balls, chip through balls if the situation requires it. And in the attack, there will be moments where you feel that this formation doesn't create enough chances. That is not a failure of the system. That is the signal that it's time for the sub-tactic. There's one very specific moment in every match where I stop focusing on execution and start questioning the structure itself. Because even the best formation has limits. And sometimes this 4-2-2 simply does not provide enough offensive power to break the opponent down. This moment usually appears against opponents who play with 5 at the back or with a double or even triple DMF system where central spaces are permanently blocked. I notice it very clearly when my possession looks clean, controlled, but harmless. And when I move the ball well, but cannot create clear chances. That is the exact moment I realized that I have to change something in my tactics. At that point, I don't change players. I change the shape. I transform the formation from a 4-2-2 into a 4-2-4. To do this, I push both attacking midfielders here, Morgan Rogers and Cruyff, a little further higher up the pitch and convert them into second strikers. So one of the second strikers, Morgan Rogers, moves directly next to the 2 center forwards, forming a front line of 3. The other second striker, in this case Johan Cruyff, stays slightly deeper, positioned right behind all 3 attackers, ready to exploit second balls and lose defenders, but also as a connector between the midfield and the attack. What you can do is also here, position your CMF a little more to the left or right hand side, just to have more width in your gameplay. Yes, this transformation is pretty risky because you lose midfield control, you have fewer options to recycle the possession, and if you rush this phase, you can get punished very quickly. But once you manage to outplay the opponent's midfield, even if it's just for a single time, the reward is immediate. With 4 attackers in the front line, you often outnumber the opponent's defense. The defenders are forced to make decisions and suddenly spaces appear where none existed before. This is where tight matches open up, and this is how control turns into goals. I've proved that winning in eFootball Mobile is not all about skills. It's about structure, decision making, and staying calm under pressure. And if this helped you guys, like and subscribe for more high-level eFootball Mobile content. I'll see you in the next one. Mednasah over and out.